Good morning and happy hump day. I think the computer thinks it's Friday, but it is indeed Wednesday, unfortunately. Or fortunately, if you love your job, I guess whichever way you look at it. Jason loving his job this morning. We're all loving our weather.
Oh, yeah. It's like watching all those like Skype and TeamViewer interviews, you know, it's like doing like the robot thing, like what?
Yeah. There should be like a new dance invented after
There should. It
this
should
whole
be
thing.
called the TeamViewer.
Yes, or the Zoom.
Or the Zoom. There you go.
I like
TeamViewer or
it,
Zoom,
yeah.
one of the two, right? Well, on the weather scene here, that cold front we told you about yesterday, actually a little bit slower developing. I was thinking it was going to be a little further south, but we've seen a couple off and on flurries throughout the area, none of which is sticking to the ground, just keeping us a little bit colder here this morning. As for your hour-by-hour forecast, we are expected to stay cooler today, 46 degrees, kind of partly cloudy skies in Great Falls. As for the capital, looking at 54 degrees, a little bit more sunshine, so staying cooler throughout central Montana today due to the passage of that cold front. So a little bit chilly, warmer than through Friday, and then we're tracking a pretty aggressive weekend weather maker. I'll tell you about it shortly. Keely.
Thanks, Jason. We'll check back in with you in Storm Tracker weather. The time now is 5:04 on this Wednesday, and in news around the nation, the results of yesterday's Wisconsin primary between Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden won't be released until Monday, so absentee ballots can be counted. But many were upset the election happened at all. Voters had a tough time maintaining social distancing while trying to cast their ballots. Meanwhile, the number of dead in New York passed a grim milestone, but officials say social distancing looks like it's working. CBS's Riley Carlson has more.
Voters faced hours-long lines in the Wisconsin primary yesterday.
I have food, I have water, I have a lawn chair, I have a mask.
But many were outraged it wasn't delayed due to the coronavirus.
I don't think people should be voting today. People dying.
Republicans blocked efforts to extend absentee voting or postpone the election.
You can call it a perfect storm, but this is by design. This is not an accident.
President Trump claims Democrats only wanted the changes after he endorsed a candidate in a statewide race.
And now they talk about, oh, safety, safety.
So many poll workers refused to work that members of the National Guard were deployed to staff polling sites.
It should have been all mail ballots in. It should have been moved in the way that 5 other states have done it.
The national death toll continues to climb, and the number of New Yorkers who have died from COVID-19 has eclipsed the number killed on 9/11.
Behind every one of those numbers is an individual, is a family, is a mother, is a father, is a sister, is a brother.
Governor Andrew Cuomo noted the rate of hospitalizations is slowing, suggesting social distancing is working.
We'll get through it, and over time it just will be normal to us.
In some areas of the country, a disproportionately high percentage of victims are African American.
It's a scar on the healthcare society that we have here in America.
Overseas, at the origin of the coronavirus outbreak, the Chinese city of Wuhan reopened after 2.5 months on lockdown. Riley Carlson, CBS News.
And in news around the Treasure State, Governor Steve Bullock announced a 2-week extension of the stay-at-home order Tuesday and other directives aimed at limiting the spread of COVID-19.
For every person that we take out of the chain of transmission, the more likely that our healthcare facilities can handle the capacity to respond.
At least through April 24, public schools, bars, casinos, and restaurants will remain closed unless they offer curbside or drive-through services. Also, a 14-day self-quarantine will continue to be required for individuals arriving in Montana for non-work-related travel. Governor Bullock also announcing a measure that will allow first responders to be notified in advance of potential exposure to COVID-19, such as if the patient is having breathing difficulty. The responders then can take appropriate measures to safely perform their duties and avoid exposing other patients to the virus. And here's a look at the latest numbers from the COVID-19 website. As of last night, Montana had 319 confirmed cases. 57 people have recovered so far from coronavirus. Nearly 7,000 have been tested statewide. Closer to home, Cascade County is holding steady at 11 cases. The statewide website is showing 15 cases for Toole County. However, a release from Toole County last night says that there were 2 2 new positive cases on Tuesday, bringing the total to 17. 4 people have recovered, and the state has partnered with local agencies to create an incident command unit to address the needs of the area, including providing personnel and resources. And staying in Toole County, Governor Bullock also addressed the cases in that area yesterday, where 3 of the state's 6 deaths have occurred. The state has partnered with local agencies to create that incident command unit to address the needs of the area, including medical and resources. Mariah's Medical Center CEO William Kiefer says as a regional hospital, they have been tracking the COVID-19 virus since early January and taking every precaution they could for the cases that they're handling. After having many employees quarantine at home, staff has had to work even harder to protect their residents of the attached assisted living facility safe, as well as maintaining normal emergency care. And Kalispell Regional Medical Center also providing crucial support to hospitals around the state during the coronavirus outbreak, helping other medical facilities like Mariah's Medical Center in Shelby as they are severely lacking supplies to fight the virus. Also providing staff like nurses in their hospital and assisted living, and deployed a team from their environmental services team to go over and do a deep clean of the hospital. And in news around the state, the Montana Department of Labor and Industry says it issued more than 24,000 unemployment insurance payments last week. The total paid out for the week amounted to nearly $7.9 million. Monday, March 30th, saw the highest number of payments with just over 17,000. Unemployment claims across the state and nation have skyrocketed since social distancing measures, including business operating restrictions, have been put in place. DLI says as of April 5th, it had identified 206 businesses with layoffs affected to COVID-19. And as part of the stimulus package passed by Congress 11 days ago now, more than $350 billion is available for loans to small businesses harmed by the coronavirus economic shutdowns. Here in Montana, those loans already are being approved, although the money isn't going out the door just yet. MTN's Mike Dennison has the latest on the status of the massive aid program.
Shortly after midnight last Friday, Montana banks and officials at the Small Business Administration approved the first loans to help businesses here weather the coronavirus storm. By day's end, 1,000 loans had been processed, and officials continued to work through the weekend.
It was like a giant funnel with a cork on the bottom. And, when they finally pulled the cork, there could have been a lot more problems at the bottom of the funnel than there was. So we're pleased that the system is up, it's operating.
But officials say the actual money may not be available for a few weeks, as final paperwork must still be processed.
We're in the early days of this sort of a process, and so I think we need to remain patient. There are a lot of businesses that are affected.
The money is for businesses who employ less than 500 people and who are striving to keep their employees on board during the economic slowdown.
Almost every day I learn of a new business sector that is being affected in a negative manner. It's everything from tourism related, dry cleaners, tanning salons, beautician shops, restaurants. So there's a big swath of those sort of businesses that are going to be eligible for this sort of assistance.
But demand for the loans already is exceeding supply. Nationally, the amount of loans requested is more than double the amount allocated by Congress. Hegerberg says while many other states are reporting delays and problems in the program, he believes Montana SBA officials, banks, and businesses are working well together. But he says first in line for the loans are banks' regular business customers.
We know that some small businesses are still anxious. They're still not sure how the program works and may have been working with their banker and not getting what they expected. But not everybody can be at the front of the line.
And for those not at the front of the line, already the Trump administration and Congress are considering a second round of aid for businesses and workers hit hard by the crisis. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
The loans also may be converted into grants if businesses maintain their workforce through the downturn. And the Montana Department of Justice announced changes to the Motor Vehicles Division to help better serve the public during this COVID-19 pandemic. Anyone whose driver's license is set to expire can renew it now online. People who choose to renew online will receive a license valid for 2 more years with their current picture. This will also apply to commercial driver's licenses. The temporary licenses will not be available for Real ID, but MVD is still holding appointments while following health guidelines. MVD has also granted an extension to those whose driver's licenses recently expired.
If your driver's license expired this past March or in April or May of this year, you have been given a 90-day extension to renew, which alleviates the need for you to come in right away if you prefer to wait.
Dealerships and vehicle owners have also been granted a 90-day extension to file and register vehicles transferred to them. And here at home, Cascade County is moving their meetings online in a release Tuesday. Commission Chair Jim Larson said the county will be using Zoom to hold public meetings to comply with social distancing. The meetings can be watched by the public for free. Just head to the county's website, cascadecountymt.gov, for a link to each meeting. Deputy Clerk and Recorder Kyler Baker will moderate meetings. People can call in or join through their computers to give public comment. The time now is 5:13 on this Wednesday, and coming up next, Toole County residents are staying positive during this pandemic. See how they're showing their support next.
And later in your weather forecast, as the temperatures continue to rise, we are continuing to keep an eye on some springtime flooding. Flood advisory in north central Montana there. Seeing some rapid snow melt from our friends up north, and we're looking at Lodge and Battle Creeks. Those are the areas with the rising water levels. More on your forecast coming up shortly.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is 5:16 on this Wednesday, and a Fort Belknap woman is helping young people and others in her community by sewing masks. Juanita Cole Crasco is the owner of Juanita Stars, specializing in quilts since 1987. Juanita takes in young women in need and helps them learn the skill, keeping them busy and out of trouble. Instead of quilts right now, they're focusing on washable masks. Right now, she has around 22 ladies working on masks. They're selling them for about $10 each. That money goes to help the ladies who are sewing them. If you want to help, they are looking for fabric donations. You can check out our website for all the details. And in more good news from Toole County this morning, as a way to try and boost morale and let everyone in the community know that they are there for each other, residents and businesses in Shelby have started decorating their doors and windows, all with different colored construction paper hearts, as well as inspiring messages to help each other through this time of isolation. The nationwide movement is called A World of Hearts, which was created to help encourage positivity throughout the world. Toole County has seen a high number of cases of COVID-19 for their small population. Residents and businesses have been feeling the impacts.
Well, up next in your weather forecast, we're tracking a little bit cooler of a day. Yesterday, though, check it out. We managed to get 60 degrees in Great Falls. 53 would be the average temperature. We're going to be well below average today. 63 in the capital, 55 is the average there. A couple of early morning flurries. I thought it was just going to be rain, but actually a couple of flurries here at this hour as a cold front settles in across the state. Break down that passing system coming up after the break.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with Jason LAIRD.
Halfway through the work week, happy Wednesday, everybody. Currently tracking a cold front, about splitting the difference here in the state. That cold front has kicked off a couple little bands of flurries. We saw one early this morning when I was driving in about 2 a.m. and we'll likely still see a few lingering flurries. I thought it was going to be more in the way of rain, but we did get just cold enough here to see that moisture quickly turn over to snow. So by 7 a.m. this morning, that cold front's going to continue to settle in. Clear skies, and the good news is, following that cold front, a lot less wind. Yesterday, as it was coming in, windy. Today, not so much, and clear skies throughout. So although it's going to be a little bit cooler today, plenty of sunshine, a lot more mild in the terms of wind. 46 in Great Falls, looking at 54 in the capital, a couple of high 40s there throughout the eastern plains. Tonight, still kind of cold, though, throughout central Montana. Will slowly but surely start to warm up tomorrow. 25 in Great Falls, 31 in the capital, and mid to low 20s, in northeastern and eastern Montana. By tomorrow, Thursday, already back up into the 60s, 60 degrees in Great Falls, 63 in the capital, well into the 50s. Still kind of cold, though, in northeastern Montana. Breaking things down further out now, all right? We are tracking a weekend weather maker. Keep an eye on this area of low pressure. So we've got high pressure off the coast. That's going to help us out for a couple of days. But once Friday rolls around, that area of low pressure is going to start to pull down the jet stream. That's going to allow for that moisture and colder air from our north to draw across the state. So late Friday, rain quickly transitioning to snow, and pretty widespread snow expected throughout the day. Saturday, maybe some lingering flurries even on Sunday, and much colder temperatures. And that high pressure ridge is just going to kind of remain off of the coast, not doing much for us. In anticipation of this system, National Weather Service issuing a winter storm watch. This will go into effect Friday, taking us through the day Saturday. All right, snow totals. It's still a ways out. They can change a lot. Forecast models are going quite a bit higher than this. I'm backing things off right now because I think a lot of it is going to melt. Yes, it's going to switch over to snow very quickly, but on average, I'm thinking 3 to 5. This, folks, could change a lot, though, before we get to Saturday. We'll keep you up to date on that. 46 degrees today in Great Falls. Warmer, though, as we head toward the weekend before our next weather maker kind of messes things up for our Easter weekend. 54 today in the capital, and then getting down to the 30s this weekend, Keely.
Ooh, chilly, chilly. Time now is 5:23 on this Wednesday. And in more news around the state, gun shops and shooting ranges have been deemed essential services during the COVID-19 pandemic by the Trump administration. So it might not be a surprise that March of this year marked the largest number of FBI firearms background checks since the introduction of the background check service in 1998. MTN Sam Hoyle takes a look at where other time periods stack up and how new gun owners can stay safe.
In March of 2020, the FBI's National Instant Criminal Background Check System ran over 3.74 million background checks, over 400,000 more than the next closest month, which came in December of 2015. On December 2nd of 2015, 14 people were killed in a mass shooting at a social services center in Southern California. While the number of background checks does not correlate to the number of firearms sold due to different state restrictions, it shows now more than ever people are interested in firearms. For Stephen Eggline, president of the Last Chance Handgunners Association in Boulder, his assumption is that people are more interested in firearms now due to potential strain on emergency services.
There's a lot of speculation going on right now, and that's all I'll call it, is speculation. But people are afraid in the sense that if first responders start becoming sick, then they'll have to defend themselves.
Even with hunting, shooting, and firearms in general being a part of the way of life in Montana, Ed Beal, owner of Capital Sports in Helena, said even he's noticed more interest in certain firearms.
We saw kind of a surge in was new customers looking for smaller pistols, home protection type stuff. So we did see quite a bit of increase in that. Overall firearm sales, we didn't see a huge increase.
With increased interest in firearms requires increased awareness revolving gun safety, namely proper handling of firearms. Both Eggline and Beal said taking gun safety courses is one of the things that first-time gun owners can do to ensure they're handling their firearms properly.
Number one is knowing how to use them safely. Firearms need to be handled safely. I definitely recommend taking a personal training course.
What I would really recommend, whether you intend to get a concealed weapons license or not, is to take formal training from a concealed weapons license instructor.
In Helena, Sam Hoyle, MTN News.
Thanks, Sam. The time now is 5:26, and still to come, a much-needed distraction from COVID-19 coverage and a strange sight for many. We'll have more next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is 5:28 on this Wednesday, and there's an animal that's a pleasant surprise in Wittenberg. This goat has not one but two faces. I kind of want to dub it the Wittenberg Wonder. Is that like?
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
Janice
That's good.
was born on Sunday, and to the surprise of the family, has two heads.
Now the family says that Janice acts like a normal baby goat outside of eating, and say that they can't really stand up too well right now, but Janice eats from a bottle and says, if you're wondering, both heads actually eat.
Wow.
Get that? Yeah, that's kind of trippy. The family believes that the goat was going to be identical twins, but the eggs weren't able to fully split, and that caused double the fun.
As for the name Janus, it comes from a Greek god that has two heads, and for its duality representing beginning and end. The family says that they had about 1,000 goats born this year. This is the only one, though, with two faces.
Now, they also added that it's a 50-50 chance that that this goat will actually live, but they hope that it lives because they want to keep him as a pet in their yard, so they can have a special treatment with him, or give him special treatment since he's kind of a unique goat, needless to say. Let's just hope that he's not double the trouble, I guess, right?
I have a feeling he might be. Oh, man. Once he gets his walking down, then
baby goats are the greatest. They just bounce
they eat
around.
Like anything and everything.
Goats do pretty much eat anything and everything. Yeah, exactly. They're going to be like battling it out, like which one gets to eat at what time,
right?
you know?
I wonder if they like knock each other a little bit in the head.
It looked like they were pretty stuck in that position, but I don't know. It's
Maybe
tough.
they could mature and grow and grow into their own
There you go.
head.
Start like trying to bite each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Like,
yeah, super cute though, super cute. Kind of cool to see that story. Right.
Yeah.
Tracking a cold front passing through the state early this morning. It has managed to kick off a couple of flurries. We've seen some kind of off and on here in Great Falls this morning. 26 degrees and 28 in the capital. Hour by hour forecast. Plenty of sunshine here this afternoon. We're going to start out cold, and we are going to stay quite a bit chillier today due to that cold front passing through the state. So that's going to put daytime highs today quite a bit cooler. We'll see highs at about 46 in Great Falls. We will warm up nicely again tomorrow and Friday. The good news is a lot less wind compared to yesterday. It was that cold front moving in that really ramped things up. 54 in the capital today with 63 Thursday.
All right, and stick around. There's more news ahead. Montana This Morning continues after a short break. It's 5:30 on this Wednesday morning and happening now. Montana's stay-at-home order extended through much of April. What this means for Treasure State residents. Plus, construction is making headway during coronavirus quarantines. An update on a major project in our capital city. And
management of an alcohol treatment center near Butte responds to concerns about safety of inmates during the coronavirus outbreak.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning and happy hump day. I'm Keely Van Middendorp. Jason LAIRD joining us in the Weather Center. And Jason, we've made it this far. I can't wait to see what you got for weather. That's all I have.
Coldness.
Coldness, really.
Yeah. Did you hit the snow this morning when you were driving in?
I did, yeah. And I was, the first thing that popped into my mind was like April snow showers, spring Mayflowers.
Yeah, instead of April showers.
Right.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Hopefully the snow goes away.
Yeah, at least for today. We're still going to probably see a few. What's that?
I said, what in the Sam heck is going on around here? That was my first thought after that.
That was the TV version, right? Well, we've got a cold front that's passing through the state, and I thought more of it was going to stay in the terms of rain, but we did get a little flurry or two, and we'll probably see a few more off and on here this morning. Waking up to much chilly temperatures in the mid-20s. Opportunity Bank ICAM in the capital, 20s as well in that region. Checking out your forecast headlines moving forward. A little bit chilly again today. Warming up, though, Thursday, Friday. And we got a weekend weather maker messing with our Easter plans. I'll tell you all about that system very shortly, Keely.
Thanks, Jason. We'll check back in with you soon. Beginning now with news around the state, Governor Steve Bullock announced a 2-week extension of the stay-at-home order Tuesday and other directives aimed at limiting the spread of COVID-19. At least through April 24, public schools, bars, casinos, and restaurants will remain closed unless they offer curbside or drive-through services. Also, a 14-day self-quarantine will continue to be required for individuals arriving in Montana for non-work-related travel. Governor Bullock also announcing a measure that will allow first responders to be notified in advance of potential exposure to COVID-19, such as if the patient is having breathing difficulty. The responders can then take appropriate measures to safely perform their duties and avoid exposing other patients to the virus. And here's a look at the latest numbers from the COVID-19 website. As of last night, Montana had 319 confirmed reported cases. 57 people have recovered so far from COVID-19. Nearly 7,000 have been tested statewide. Closer to home, Cascade County is holding steady at 11 cases. The state website is showing 15 cases for Toole County. However, a release from county officials Tuesday night said that there were 2 new positive cases on Tuesday, bringing their total to 17. 4 people have recovered in Toole County, and the state has partnered with local agencies to create an incident command unit to address the needs of the area, including providing personnel and resources. Moving now to our capital city, the coronavirus is not stopping planned public works projects in the Helena area from moving forward this spring. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian looks at some of the work that is set to be done.
Heavy equipment was on site Tuesday at the Beatty Street trailhead in Helena. Crews began moving dirt this week as they begin a project to expand the trailhead and make improvements on the adjacent street. It's one of a number of infrastructure projects the city of Helena plans to work on this spring. City leaders have pointed to Governor Steve Bullock's stay-at-home order, which identified public works construction as essential activity that can continue. They released a list Monday of projects they plan to work on, including completing last year's Front Street reconstruction and making several other sidewalk and utility improvements. The Beatty Street trailhead is perhaps the most notable project. It has drawn strong opposition from some nearby residents. Helena City Attorney Thomas Joden said during a city commission meeting Monday that some neighbors were considering filing legal action over the work that's being done. The Montana Department of Transportation is also planning work around Helena. Crews are expected to start next week on a sidewalk improvement project along Lyndale and Montana Avenues. They will be replacing worn-out sections and making accessibility upgrades. During the project, workers will close one section of sidewalk and redirect pedestrians to the other side. One lane of traffic will also close. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
And on Tuesday morning, we first reported that an inmate of the Watch program is requesting to be released because of coronavirus concerns. Wednesday, MTN's John Amy heard a response from the program officials.
Organizers of the Watch program, which provides treatment for felony DUI offenders, say they have been taking precautions to protect its inmates from possible exposure to the coronavirus.
These are unusual and difficult times for everybody. Clearly, that life and certainly our programs, the myriad of programs that we operate are changing in unfamiliar ways, frankly, by the hour.
Thatcher denies recent complaints that the Warm Springs program has not been able to practice social distancing and has admitted new inmates since the governor's stay-at-home order.
We've not had a new intake contrary to what was suggested since the end of March, and the governor's directive went in April 1.
Thatcher pointed out that Butte's pre-release program and the Watch program have no reported cases of COVID-19.
Unfortunately, some facilities have not been as fortunate, have had positive cases. The Watch, knock on wood, has not. And I attribute that to the measures our staff and our nursing staff have incorporated both for the clients and our staff.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
And that Watch facility has about 160 inmates. Following up on another story we brought you Tuesday, anyone caught violating the state's order to social distance can be cited for obstructing a peace officer in the mining city. Butte police cited a resident over the weekend for hosting a house party. That fine is up to $500 or 6 months in jail.
You can get more than one, so if he chooses to do that again, we'll be back and issue another citation, and hopefully this will be enough, but obviously our efforts at warning and education weren't enough.
Police say they will first warn a violator before issuing a citation. And staying in the mining city, police in Butte report hundreds of flyers with an anti-Semitic message were distributed on car windshields and front porches of homes through the Floral Park neighborhood late Monday or early Tuesday morning. Police say this message of hate could be considered intimidation or other crimes.
Obviously, anybody who's out distributing those at night would be obviously in violation of the governor's order for essential travel only. So that we're looking at a number of crimes that were committed by this person or persons. Also, there is federal hate crimes that could come into place.
Police are seeking doorbell camera footage from anyone in the neighborhood that may help identify the suspects. The time now is 5:40, and up next, local athletes planning to represent their country in the Olympics now have their dreams on hold.
And later in your weather forecast, we are tracking a slightly cooler day today as a cold front makes its way through the region, currently sitting at 26 degrees. Not much, though, in the way of wind, thankfully, today. We'll be looking at clear skies and a lot less wind once that cold front passes through. Currently sitting at 28 in the capital right now. More in your forecast shortly.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is 5:43 on this Wednesday. Many athletes wait their whole lives for the chance to represent their country at the Olympic Games. But as MTN's Tom Wiley tells us, several Montanans have to wait a little while longer.
In March, the International Olympic Committee made the decision to postpone the 2020 Summer Games in Tokyo to 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But for many Olympic hopefuls and qualifiers, it's a whole lot more complicated than just waiting another year. East Helena's Toby Erickson has always dreamed of competing in the Olympics.
This has been my dream since I was 5 years old. I'm 100% totally invested in this.
And in December, he qualified for the U.S. Greco-Roman team trials for the third time in his career, but his training is on hold while he waits in limbo for competition to resume.
I'm not trying to play catch up and get back into shape. I'm already in shape. That's the hardest thing right now. I mean, we don't have, it's on our own, it's not structured. It's difficult to continuously challenge yourself.
Erickson is one of Montana's most decorated international wrestlers, but he's been competing at the senior level for 12 years now. Recently got married and is starting to give thought to life after wrestling. Now he'll have to wait a little longer to have those conversations with his family.
That was a big decision that I was hoping to have answered this last Sunday. If I made the team, then I'm gearing up, getting ready, focusing on what I need to do to bring back some hardware from Tokyo. If I didn't, the wife and I, we were going to sit down and have some serious talks, some hard conversations about what's next. Now that it's postponed, when are our answers going to come to us?
Toby is a soldier in the Army's World-Class Athletes program, which allows him to train full-time while serving in the military, but other athletes fund their own full-time training, like Havre's Sammy Evans, who is an Olympic hopeful in the triple jump. She's trained hard for this year's Olympic trials, but isn't sure she can keep up the financial investment for another year.
Most athletes actually spend more than they make. It becomes super, super expensive, and then, of course, you need to work so that way you can pay for some of it. But you can't work too much, because if you work too many hours, then it's going to affect your training. Then you're either not going to be able to train certain days, or when you show up, you're going to be too exhausted.
For more on the Olympic journeys of these athletes and more, visit montanasports.com. Reporting from home, Tom Wiley, MTN News.
Well, up next in your weather forecast, we're currently tracking a cold front making its way through the state. That is going to continue to kick off a few flurries along the leading edge of this system. Very little, though, in the way of accumulation as ground temperatures are pretty mild. Starting out really chilly and really not gaining much strength today, getting into the mid-40s in most locations for the capital, 30s, and then up to the 50s here possibly this afternoon in a couple locations. And we're tracking a weekend weather maker. All the details on this system next.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with Jason LAIRD.
Good morning, friends. Proud to have you along for the ride. We are tracking a cold front, kind of splitting the difference through Montana this morning. A couple little isolated flurries, not out of the question, especially right along the leading edge or just following that cold front. Now, the good news is, as that cold front moves through, yes, it is going to be cooler today, but we are going to see mostly sunny skies following this system. So, although temperatures are going to be a little bit on the cooler side, there's going to be plenty of sunshine to go around this afternoon. 46 degrees in Great Falls, 54 in the capital. Notice that colder air and really really not making its way over the mountains. Not bad throughout the eastern plains, well into the 40s, mid-40s along the High Line in northeastern Montana. Still chilly tonight at 25 degrees in Great Falls, 31 in the capital, mid to low 20s in northeastern Montana. Tomorrow, warming right back up, though, 60 degrees in Great Falls, 63, pushing a couple of 70s west of the divide there near Missoula, 55 in Lewistown. So right on track, if not above seasonal averages tomorrow. So to kind of break things down here, on Thursday, we are going to see some high pressure move in. That's what's going to allow for the clear skies, warmer temperatures, but keep an eye on this area of low pressure. Come Friday, that area of low pressure is going to put a big kind of dip in the jet stream. And as that jet stream starts to drop south on Friday into Saturday, it's going to start pulling colder air and moisture across the state. And right now, it looks like we're going to have a pretty sizable drop in temperatures and a decent amount of snow throughout the day Saturday, maybe lingering even into Sunday as well. And then that high pressure ridge will kind of start to rebuild, but it's going to stay cold for at least the first part of this next week. So in anticipation of that, National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch for the areas highlighted in purple. That goes into effect Friday through Saturday right now. And to kind of give you an idea of rough snow totals, this is a long ways out. Normally, I don't like to throw totals out because the computer models can change. I actually back things off a little bit. The computer models are going quite a bit higher than this, but I think a lot of that snow is going to melt due to the ground temperatures. But right now, I'm anticipating about 3 to 5. Please keep in mind, this could change a lot over the next couple of days. We'll keep you posted. Next 7 days look like this for us. Kind of chilly today, warming right back up though Thursday and Friday, and then that next weather maker moves in late Friday night and turn into snow on Saturday. Pretty decent amount of accumulation there and colder temperatures taking us through Easter in the first part of this next week. 54 degrees in the capital, but back up to 63 tomorrow before kind of taking a tumble again this weekend. Keely?
Thanks, Jason. The time now is 5:51 on this Wednesday, and still to come, Toole County residents are staying positive through this pandemic. How they're showing support. Next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning in Toole County. As a way to try and boost morale and let everyone in the community know that they are there for each other, residents and businesses in Shelby have started decorating their doors and windows, all with different colored construction paper hearts, as well as inspiring messages to help each other through this time of isolation.
Now, the nationwide movement is called World of Hearts, which was created to help encourage positivity throughout the world. Toole County has seen a high number of cases of COVID-19 for their small population. Residents and businesses have been feeling that impact, of course.
That one's so pretty. I think they tried to make a rainbow there with all the different colors.
Super cool, though.
Do you ever do that in crafts and stuff? Make those easy hearts?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know why. That's about the only thing I can make.
I've always wondered how the shape of a heart came about, because obviously, real heart, nowhere near that, but I've always wondered who came up with the first heart.
There is a story on that,
There probably is.
Kind of like the story of the first candy cane,
Right,
first heart, maybe. But what a neat way to bring some color and positivity. Cool. What would you put on your windows if you could?
Well, what do you mean? Isn't it 4 hearts?
Would you do hearts, or would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd put some hearts up there.
I would do hearts. Maybe I would try a few snowflakes.
Yeah.
Depending on the day.
Well, you might need some this weekend.
Seriously, what the heck is going on?
I know. Well, it's, like
Not
you said,
happy.
instead of April showers, it's April snow showers.
Yeah, we better get a bunch of flowers from this.
Right.
Everybody's going to be very upset. We're gonna
Currently tracking a cold front. That's what's helping to kick off. They're very isolated and sporadic and kind of short-lived, but we will still see a few flurries throughout central Montana here today with the passage of that cold front. Daytime highs at about 46 in Great Falls and 60 degrees, though, tomorrow. So we'll warm right back up as we head toward the weekend before things kind of take a tumble this weekend. 54 in the capital and then 63 tomorrow. But our weekend weather maker, dun, dun, dun. Snow and cold moving in Friday night. Some accumulation is likely. We'll kind of give you a better idea of this system coming up in our next show here.
And stick around. Your Farm and Ranch Report with the Montana Ag Network is next. It's 6 o'clock on this Wednesday morning and happening now. Montana's stay-at-home order extended through much of April. What this means for Treasure State residents. Plus, one of our smaller counties dealing with some of the highest cases in the state, how Toole County and Marias Medical Center are coping. And nursing students are using this time of outbreak and uncertainty as training tools. We'll show you how. Montana This Morning starts now.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. I'm Keely Van Mittendorf. It's halfway through the week, hump day. We made it. Finally, Jason Laird joining us in the Weather Center.
Hello.
And Jason, it's been a trying week.
It has been a trying
week.
week.
We've had ups and downs already.
Yes.
On the show, but also on the weather scene. So.
Yeah, multiple fronts. We've kind of been riding the wave, you know, and
right? Yeah.
We'll continue that. It's going to be cold today, and then we're going to warm up, and then it's going to get cold again just in time for Easter, unfortunately. U.S. Bank ICAM, chillier start to the day. Yesterday, we were in the 30s and 40s. Today, we're only in the mid-20s, so kind of chilly out there. Opportunity Bank ICAM in the capital, 28 degrees at the airport right now. Lincoln at about 25 as well. Clancy sitting at 24. As for your forecast headlines, to kind of give you an idea what we're tracking here, a little bit chilly today, warmer than again through Friday, but we are tracking a weekend weather maker. I'll have all the details on that system very shortly. Keely.
Thanks, Jason. We'll check in with you in Storm Tracker weather. In news around the state, Governor Steve Bullock announced a 2-week extension of the stay-at-home order Tuesday and other directives aimed at limiting the spread of COVID-19.
For every person that we take out of the chain of transmission, the more likely that our healthcare facilities can handle the capacity to respond.
At least through April 24th, public schools, bars, casinos, and restaurants will remain closed unless they offer curbside or drive-through services. Also, a 14-day self-quarantine will continue to be required for those arriving in Montana for non-work-related travel. Governor Bullock also announced a measure that will allow first responders to be notified in advance of potential exposure to COVID-19, like if a patient is having breathing difficulty. The responders can then take appropriate measures to safely perform their duties and avoid exposing other patients to the virus. And here's a look at the latest numbers from the COVID-19 website. As of last night, Montana had 319 confirmed reported cases of COVID-19. 57 people had recovered so far from the virus. Nearly 7,000 had been tested statewide. Closer to home, Cascade County is holding steady at 11 cases. The state website is showing 15 cases for Toole County. However, a release from county officials last night says there were 2 new positive cases Tuesday, bringing the total to 17. 4 people have recovered in that county so far. The state has partnered with local agencies to create an incident command unit to address some of the needs in that area. Governor Bullock also addressed the cases in Toole County yesterday, where 3 of the state's 6 deaths have occurred. The state is once again partnering with local agencies to create an incident command unit to address needs, including providing personnel and resources. Marias Medical Center CEO William Kiefer says as a regional hospital, they have been tracking the COVID-19 virus since early January and taking every precaution they can for the cases that they're handling. After having many employees quarantined at home, staff has had to work even harder to protect their residents of the attached assisted living facility safe, as well as maintaining normal emergency care. Kalispell Regional Medical Center also providing crucial support to hospitals around the state during this time, helping other medical facilities like Marias Medical Center who was severely lacking supplies to fight the coronavirus. Also providing staff like nurses in their hospitals and assisted living, and deployed a team from their environmental services team to go over and do a deep clean of the hospital. And Great Falls College MSU classes are still being held online. Nursing students are still able to do their clinicals online and help out on hospital call lines to get the experience they need. For Lauren Swant, Great Falls College Nursing Program Director, she sees this as a great teaching opportunity for them.
I think if nothing else, our students seem to be eager to help. You know, I think going into nursing is a calling. You know, obviously, people don't go into nursing expecting to be dealing with a COVID-19 pandemic.
Some students have been going in twice a week and helping out with various jobs to ensure they graduate as planned. And in news around the state, the Montana Department of Labor and Industry says it issued more than 24,000 unemployment insurance payments last week. The total paid out for the week amounted to nearly $7.9 million. Monday, March 30th, saw the highest number of payments with just over 17,000. Unemployment claims across the state and nation have skyrocketed since social distancing measures, including business operating restrictions, have been put in place. DLI says as of April 5th, it had identified 206 businesses with layoffs affected by COVID-19. And moving to more news that we first brought you last week, construction work on the Keystone XL pipeline is underway across the U.S.-Canadian border north of Malta. TC Energy, the company behind the Keystone project, told MTN News Tuesday that construction work started over the weekend on the $1.4 million U.S.-Canadian border crossing, but company spokesperson Sarah Rayburn could not provide further details. The Keystone XL was given new life last week when the government of Alberta invested $1.1 billion into the project to fund it through the end of the year. Meanwhile, the company's residential permit is the subject of a hearing next week before U.S. District Judge Brian Morse here in Great Falls. A coalition of environmental groups claim the Army Corps of Engineers ignored two major U.S. laws when it approved the project's permit last spring. The time now is 6:07 on this Wednesday, and still to come, Toole County residents staying positive during this pandemic, how they're showing support. Next.
And later in your weather forecast, we are tracking a passing cold front, so a couple of flurries not out of the question along the leading edge of that front. That's going to allow for temperatures today to stay a little bit cooler. We'll be in the 20s and 30s this morning. A couple of 40s this afternoon with mostly clear skies. We'll break down more of your forecast very shortly.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is 6:10 on this Wednesday, and by now we're all starting to feel the effects of staying away in our homes during the COVID-19 quarantine, away from friends and unable to socialize. Now imagine what it's like for a 7-year-old who can't celebrate his own birthday with friends or relatives. That's where firefighters in western Montana are coming to the rescue.
If you've seen the firefighters gathering outside the Stevensville fire station the past few nights, you might get the impression it's wildfire season again. The reason isn't that scary, but nonetheless just as important to a community in quarantine.
We saw a Facebook post from a mutual friend whose daughter had a birthday, and she wanted all of her friends to drive by and honk their horn. So we saw that, and we just brought bigger horns.
Bigger horns indeed, and the Beatles' birthday song over the PA speaker.
And then it just escalated from there. I put it on the school websites and just thinking that all the kids need a smile out there having a quarantine birthday. So
families get youngsters like 10-year-old Reed here out in the yard on some pretext for the invasion by Steve I and 3 Mile firefighters.
We asked them and they jumped on board instantaneously. We have a lot of Stevensville district kids that live out in 3 Mile, so it's been great. I think we have 17 engines tonight.
And even way out into the country, winding across the Bitterroots dusty roads. A double birthday at this house on the Illinois bench, and wide eyes from JC at 4 years old.
Just seeing the smile on the kids' faces and the tears in the parents' eyes has been amazing.
It's a rescue mission of a different type, and even though with this equipment they could easily blow out birthday candles, leaving that to others to honor social distancing from the big hearts of firefighters.
And you never know, one of those kids out there might want to be in the fire service someday.
Absolutely, we're always taking volunteers.
All around the Bitterroot for birthdays. Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
And in more good news this morning, this time from Toole County as a way to try and boost morale and let everyone in the community know that they are there for each other. Residents and businesses in Shelby have started decorating their doors and windows, all with different colored construction paper hearts, as well as inspiring messages to help each other through this time of isolation. The nationwide movement is called A World of Hearts, which was created to help encourage positivity through the world. Toole County has seen a high number of cases of COVID-19 for their small population. Residents and businesses have been feeling the impacts. And moving now to the Gallatin Valley, where a 15-year-old Bozeman girl is painting a powerful message of hope. MTN's Cody Boyer has more.
To 15-year-old Avery Iris, it's more than a hobby, it's a passion. And being stuck in quarantine, she wants to put her paintbrush in the right place.
I'm going to be making a video on a painting. So it's just kind of cool to see it all come together.
Whether it's horses, moose, or a pair of grizzly bears, it's Avery Iris' paintbrush that's been making them happen since she was 10 years old.
It's going to be on that canvas. I was painting some bears, and then my mom came into my room and she had the idea to just do a painting.
But then, just before everyone had to stay at home, a tragedy.
Last month, we lost my cousin. We just wanted to donate to a mental illness organization just to help people.
With that in mind, Avery went to work, paintbrush and talent in hand.
I'm really lucky. I would have been so bored if I didn't have something to do.
Behind the eyes of a herd of bison, step by step, Avery recreated her cousin and his family in stunning detail.
I switched to a slightly bigger brush just to get it on faster. I'm gonna go get a bigger brush. Over this time, suicide has spiked a lot, and it's really bad, especially in Montana.
She's aiming for a little over $1,000. Every cent is going to either the National Alliance on Mental Health or split with the highest bidder's choice of mental health organization. And in just a few days, she's nearly reached her goal.
Did you ever think you'd get that kind of response?
No, it was really fast.
All the while thinking of her cousin and others who are coping with similar tragedies during these days stuck inside.
It's just supposed to support mental health and just help people.
In Bozeman, Cody Boyer.
Just help someone. Bye.
MTN News.
Well, up next in your weather forecast, a passing cold front is keeping temperatures a little bit chilly today. Looking back at yesterday, we hit 60 degrees in Great Falls, well above the average temperatures in the capital yesterday. 53 was the daytime high compared to the average of 55. Currently, that cold front is settled right in the middle of Montana, kicking off a couple of flurries throughout the area. And this weekend, another weather maker moving in. I'll talk about that system after the break.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning. The largest, brightest supermoon of 2020 rose in the night sky on Tuesday over hushed cities, stilled factories, and countries in lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic that has killed tens of thousands worldwide. Now, if the moon is within 10% of its closest distance to the Earth at the moment of full moon, it is considered to be a supermoon. That's according to the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, London.
And April's full moon will be the closest supermoon of 2020. And it is also known as the pink moon, after the pink flowers that start to appear in the fields this month in some places.
I don't think that's probably going to be here,
Not quite
unfortunately.
yet, no.
But like we were saying, snow showers, spring, May flowers, maybe next month.
Yeah, that's the goal, right? And we've kind of been talking about, like, if you're hoping to put the flowers in or the garden. Right. I was hoping this week would be a little bit better, but probably not. If you can hold off.
Right, even the snow this morning. I thought we were in the clear with 60s the past 2 days.
Yeah, and we'll get back to that, Thursday and Friday.
You say
but
that.
No, we will.
I don't know.
Mark my words, tomorrow, Friday, will be pretty mild, but then this weekend, not so much, right? As for this morning, we are tracking a passing cold front. That's what's helped to kick off a few of the flurries throughout the region. We've seen a couple in Lewistown, a few here early in Great Falls. Those flurries will continue to taper off as that cold front settles in. The good news following that cold front is mostly sunny skies and a lot less wind. Yesterday, when that cold front was barreling down on us, got very, very windy across the board, but mostly sunny skies this afternoon. So although we are going to be a little bit cooler today, we'll have plenty of sunshine to go around. 46 in Great Falls, 54 in the capital. Still a couple of 60s there west of the divide. High to mid 40s throughout the eastern plains here today. Tonight, still a little bit cool though. Great Falls only about 25 degrees. 31 in the capital. A few mid to low 20s there in northeastern Montana. Tomorrow, Keeley, check it out. We're right back up to the 60s, all right? 60 in Great Falls, 63 in the capital. Pushing a couple of 70s throughout the western portions of the state, and low 50s and a couple of 40s lingering in northeastern Montana. Looking at our our weather systems a little further forward. So tomorrow, temperatures are going to rebound, as you just saw. Those more mild temperatures are going to stick around on Friday. However, on Friday, this area of low pressure way to our south is going to pull that jet stream down a little bit. By doing that, it's going to allow for cold Canadian air to move in across the state and also pull some North Pacific moisture across the state. That's going to happen Friday night and Saturday, kicking off pretty widespread snow across the state. Snow is going to stick with us on Saturday, maybe a few lingering flurries even on Sunday. We'll see a little bit of high pressure try to rebound as we kick off the first part of this next week, but still going to stay cold. So in anticipation of that system, National Weather Service issuing a winter storm watch that will go into effect Friday through Saturday, as we are tracking a decent amount of snow. Now, forecast models are actually going a little higher than this, but I'm keeping snow totals a little bit lower because I think a lot of it is going to melt due to the ground temperatures being a little bit warmer. Right now, I'm anticipating about 3 to 5 for a good chunk of central Montana, but I might end up bumping that. It's still a ways out. Things could change a little bit. We'll keep you posted there. 46 degrees today. See, Keeley, temperatures rebound. There they are. 60 tomorrow, a little bit cooler Friday, and then our next weather maker moves in as the weekend rolls around. Capital today, 54, warmer tomorrow, and then kind of falling off the charts as Friday night and Saturday rolls around.
I don't know, Jason. I'm going to have to see it to believe it. Time now is 6:22, and still to come on Montana This Morning, a much-needed distraction from all the coronavirus coverage and a strange sight for many. We'll have more next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is 6:26 on this Wednesday, and there is an animal that's a pleasant surprise in Wittenberg. We've called it the Wittenberg Wonder. This goat has not one but two faces. Janice was born on Sunday, and to the surprise of the Newski family, has two heads.
Now, the family says that Janice acts just like a normal baby goat outside of eating, and that he can't really stand too well right now. Now, Janice eats from a bottle, and yes, if you're wondering, both heads do actually eat. The family believes the goat was going to actually be an identical twin, but the eggs weren't able to fully split, and that's what caused double the fun.
As for the name Janus, it comes from a Greek god that has two heads, and for its duality representing beginning and end. The family says they've had about 1,000 goats born this year. This is the only one with two faces.
Now, they also added that it's about a 50-50 chance, unfortunately, that the goat lives. Right now, looks happy and healthy, but they hope that he lives because they want to have him as a pet in their yard and give him, of course, that special treatment since he's a little bit of a unique goat. Now, let's just say they hope he's not double the trouble.
I wonder if, like, the presidential pardon, you know, with the turkey, I wonder if this is like a goat pardon, just living your life out as a specialty pet. Yeah, I love that.
Always,
I hope he doesn't play poker, because, man.
I was going to say, well, yeah, it literally has eyes on the back of his head. Literally.
Right? Yeah.
His one's looking one way.
Also, you'd be able to check out his poker face. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. He's going to be one vicious poker-playing goat. That's for sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Cute little guy, though. Hopefully he's doing well and everything. Tracking a cold front through the middle of Montana right now. That is going to continue to kick off a few flurries, continuing to make its way south this morning. That is going to leave us a little bit cooler today. We'll see daytime highs at 46 degrees. We will rebound tomorrow back up to 60. That's going to put us back above average. More average conditions Friday before our next weather maker moves in this weekend. Capital today, pretty average, maybe a little bit below 54, then rebounding tomorrow out to 63, but again, cooling as we head into the weekend. As for that next weather maker, snow and cold moving in Friday night through Saturday. Some accumulation is likely. We'll give you a little bit more detailed look at that incoming system very shortly.
All right, thanks, Jason. The time now is 6:29, and you're taking a live look at Great Falls. Stick around, there's more news ahead. Montana This Morning continues after a short break. It's 6:30 on this Wednesday morning and happening now. Montana's stay-at-home order extended through much of April. What this means for Treasure State residents. Plus, one of our smaller counties dealing with some of the highest cases in the state, how Toole County and Marias Medical Center in Shelby are coping. And nursing students are using this time of outbreak and uncertainty as training tools. We'll show you how. Montana This Morning starts now.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's News Leader.
Good morning and happy hump day. I'm Keely Van Middendorp. We've made it halfway through the week. Thank goodness. If I could learn to speak through the rest of the week, I think we'll be okay.
Nah,
Jason Laird
it's overrated.
joining us now. Speaking is overrated.
Overrated,
right? Especially TV news.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
don't
say,
need that.
especially for what we do. Nah.
I'll have like an interpretive dance ready for
There
my
you go.
next block.
I like it. We've talked about doing that a couple of times on the weather forecast.
Might
You know,
have
if the
to roll it
computer
out.
acts up,
Yeah.
just do a little jig.
Jig, puppet show, one of the two.
I like it.
Garbage sack or paper sack,
Yeah,
puppets.
sock.
Yeah,
sock. Yeah, currently tracking a cold front here. Here's a look at it right now. 27 degrees in Great Falls, 28 in the capital. It is going to keep us a little bit cooler today on that U.S. Bank iCam. Looking at a beautiful sunrise. Those clouds are going to clear out following the passage of that cold front today. A lot less wind too, thankfully. Opportunity Bank iCam, 28 degrees, a little bit of a breeze out of the west at 7 miles per hour. Forecast headlines today, a little bit chilly following that cold front, warmer through Friday, and then we're tracking a weekend weather maker just in time for Easter. I'll have all the details on this system very shortly. Keely.
Thanks, Jason. We'll check back in with you soon. Beginning with news around the state, Governor Steve Bullock announced a 2-week extension of the stay-at-home order Tuesday and other directives aimed at limiting the spread of COVID-19.
For every person that we take out of the chain of transmission, the more likely that our healthcare facilities can handle the capacity to respond.
At least through April 24th, public schools, bars, casinos, and restaurants will remain closed unless they offer curbside or drive-through services. Also, a 14-day self-quarantine will continue to be required for those arriving in the state for non-work-related travel. Governor Bullock also announced a measure that would allow first responders to be notified in advance of potential exposure to COVID-19, such as if the patient is having breathing difficulty. The responders can then take appropriate measures to safely perform their duties and avoid exposing other patients to the virus. And here's a look at the latest numbers from the COVID-19 website. Montana had confirmed 319 cases as of last night. 57 people have recovered so far from COVID-19. Nearly 7,000 have been tested statewide. Cascade County holding steady at 11 cases. The state website showing 15 cases for Toole County. However, a release from Toole County Tuesday says there were 2 new positive cases yesterday, bringing the total to 17. 4 people have recovered in that county. The state has partnered with local agencies to create an incident command unit to address the needs of the area, including providing personnel and resources. Marias Medical Center CEO William Kiefer said Tuesday as a hospital that's regional, they have been tracking the COVID-19 virus since early January and taking precautions with the cases they're already handling, as well as what they're going to see in coming weeks. MTN's Jennifer Walter has more from Shelby.
This has definitely been a challenge. Fortunately, we started to act quickly because we know that we have limited resources.
Being a relatively small facility, Marias Medical Center has been working with Kalispell, Cutbank, Conrad, and other regional hospitals and clinics to stay connected. CEO William Kiefer says they have been working to share what each organization has done in terms of preparation. They collectively decided to set up a formal incident command base out of Kalispell Regional Medical Center.
And they are creating a labor pool, creating joint press releases, and looking at all of the different needs that are created for the healthcare entities and organizations and looking to meet those needs.
And that assistance has been critical to them during this time. After having many employees quarantined at home, staff has had to work even harder to protect their residents of the attached assisted living facility safe, as well as maintaining normal emergency care. This week, however, they see some good news, that a majority of their workforce will be coming back to work, and they will be working even harder together to help flatten the curve.
When it impacts a community like it's impacted ours, it becomes that much more real that this is not just happening in New York City. This is happening right here in Shelby, Montana, and we have to do everything in our individual and collective powers to help get it out of our community.
In Shelby, Jennifer Walter, MTN News.
And as we mentioned, Kalispell Regional Medical Center is teaming up with Marias Medical Center in Toole County. MTN's Maren Sue takes a closer look at how KRH is assisting during the COVID-19 outbreak.
Kalispell Regional Medical Center is providing crucial support and resources to hospitals around the state during the coronavirus outbreak. Tracy Waugh, the Director of Outreach Services with Kalispell Regional Medical Center, says Mariah's Medical Center was severely lacking supplies to fight the coronavirus. Kalispell Regional Medical Center has a long-standing relationship with Mariah's Medical Center, and Waugh said they had to help.
They were completely out of hand sanitizer. So we were able to provide some hand sanitizer to them.
Waugh says Mariah's Medical Center didn't even have enough staff to cover patients coming in with virus symptoms.
They had issues with having staff to take care of the patients that they had in the hospital and their assisted living. So we were able to provide some nurses to go over and help.
Waugh said Kalispell Regional Medical Center provided cleaning staff to sanitize affected areas.
We also deployed a team from our environmental services team to go over and do a deep clean of the hospital.
Waugh said the hospital is also working with other counties like Glacier and Pend Oreille, providing them extra support. Waugh says Kalispell Regional Medical Center will continue providing support to various hospitals in different counties around the state as long as they need to. In Whitefish, Marin Siu, MTN News.
And Kalispell Regional Medical Center will continue communicating daily with Toole County as well as other counties around the state, determining what those hospitals need. Moving to campus, Great Falls College MSU classes are still being held online. Nursing students are still able to do their clinicals online and help out on hospital calls to get the experience they need. For Lauren Swant, Great Falls College MSU Nursing Program Director, she sees this as a great teaching opportunity.
I think if nothing else, our students seem to be eager to help. You know, I think going into nursing is a calling. You know, obviously people don't go into nursing expecting to be dealing with a COVID-19 pandemic.
Some students have been going in twice a week and helping out with various jobs to ensure they graduate as planned. And more in our health headlines, a Fort Belknap woman is helping young people and others in her community by sewing masks. Juanita Cole Crasco is the owner of Juanita Stars, specializing in quilts since 1987. Juanita takes in young women in need and helps them learn the skill, keeping them busy and out of trouble. Instead of quilts right now, though, they're focusing on washable masks. She has around 22 ladies working on the project. They're selling them for about $10 each. That money goes to help the ladies who are sewing them. If you want to help, they're looking for fabric donations. You can check out our websites for all the details. Time is 6:38, and coming up next, we focus in on another industry in the Treasure State, like gun stores are considered essential. Next.
And later in your weather forecast, we are tracking some spring flooding alerts, that being a flood advisory in north central Montana, just north of Chinook there in Havre. Seeing some pretty rapid snow melt in that area, should slow up a little bit today, but Lodge and Battle Creeks are the main areas of concern. We'll tell you more about your weekend forecast coming up shortly.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
And welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is 6:43 on this Wednesday. And after some states started to close gun stores and label them as non-essential, activists turned to Washington for help. The Trump administration then added gun stores and shooting ranges to its list of recommended essential businesses. MTN's Matt Hosaffel has more on what happened next.
Gun stores are staying open and taking more precautionary measures to keep people healthy.
Mainly sanitizing, staying away. I mean, if we have anyone that has problems, they stand near the door and tell us what they need, and then we take care of them.
The question of why gun stores are essential has many different answers. For Mitchell Supply in Great Falls, a big reason is their partnership with local law enforcement.
We work with the Sheriff's Department, the Detention Center, the City Police, and other outlying Sheriff's Department sites, furnishing supplies or whatever. We also work on some of the firearms.
According to a data study done by online retailer ammo.com, the coronavirus outbreak has had a significant impact on ammo sales. Ohio has seen a 950% increase in ammo sales since February 23rd. In Texas, that number is 972%. In Colorado, 1,306%.
What's affecting everybody right now is the uncertainty. So, you know, it's just like having a spare tire. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
According to Governor Steve Bullock's March 26th press release, firearm and ammunition suppliers and retailers fall under the category of supplies for essential business and operations. While the status of gun and ammo stores varies from state to state, law enforcement officials are considered essential workers everywhere. In states where those stores work with officials to provide supplies, it's not hard to see why they were deemed essential. In Great Falls, Matt Holzaffel, MTN News.
Mitchell says that he has seen a slight increase in sales since the COVID-19 pandemic started. Moving now to our capital city, Helena's Bill Roberts Golf Course is back open, but there are some restrictions for those who want to play a round of golf. The course will be open daily between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Customers must call before to reserve a tee time. To protect the public, only one customer will be allowed in the pro shop at a time. All shop employees will wear a mask and gloves, and touch points like door handles and credit card machines will be regularly sanitized. Transactions will be limited to the golf course and driving range. No merchandise will be sold and no carts will be rented. Single-use private carts will still be allowed. And back in 2013, a flash flood ripped through Bannock State Park and caused severe damage to many of the park's buildings. But that started a massive preservation efforts to get the park back to normal. MTN's Dom Tibbetts takes a look.
It's been a road filled with bumps and obstacles to restore the Bannock ghost town. But 7 years after that disastrous flood, the park has made great strides to regain its luster. And with the help of a few organizations, the park is ready to take the next step.
Well, we've had the good fortune to be able to work with the Montana History Foundation. And now going into the second year, grateful to be receiving some grant funding from them and working with Colorado-based nonprofit Adventures in Preservation.
That next step entails creating short-term and long-term goals to steadily improve the restoration efforts so that people of all ages can truly sink their teeth into a piece of frontier history.
It's there for future generations. We get over 47,000 people through here a year that come to Bannock. They come from all over the world because Bannock is one of the best preserved ghost towns in the West.
Bannock is a time capsule that showcases a proud Montana way of life. Preserving it and making sure future generations have an accurate portrayal of what life was like there is one of the most important reasons for why so many people deeply care about this work.
Especially Montanans, they take pride in our historic sites, and those people from around the world that come to visit, they also have a respect for what we have here.
These buildings, this town site has withstood all kinds of different transitions in history over time. But these are the times too, by getting inside and learning about the heritage of the past, we're able to understand our present better and be applying that knowledge to the futures.
In Bannock, Dom Tibbetts, MTN News.
Well, up next in your weather forecast, a little bit chillier today compared to yesterday. Reason behind that, a cold front. You can just see it there starting to pass through the region. That will continue to kick off a few flurries throughout central Montana. Nothing too crazy, though. Temperatures warming up into the 30s and 40s then this afternoon. Hour-by-hour forecast on the Storm Tracker weather app. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon and slightly warming temperatures. But we are tracking a weekend weather maker. I'll have all the details on that system next.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with Jason LAIRD.
Good morning, friends. Hopefully your Wednesday is off to a great start. We are currently tracking a cold front, splitting the state in the difference right now. Really going to continue to see a few little isolated flurries along the leading edge of that cold front. But the good news is, following that cold front, clear skies and a lot less wind. So good news there. But we are going to stay a little bit chillier this afternoon, about 46 degrees in Great Falls, 54 in the capital. Staying a little bit warmer west of the divide. However, the eastern plains, high 40s to mid 40s in northeastern Montana. Tonight, still a little bit cooler as that colder air mass kind of lingers over the state. 25 degrees in Great Falls, 31 in the capital. Looking at the mid 20s throughout the eastern plains, low 20s along the High Line. Rebounding right back up to just above average on Thursday. 60 degrees in Great Falls, 63 in the capital, flirting with the 70s west of the divide. A little bit chillier though in northeastern Montana there. breaking down our weather systems again tomorrow. So we've got a couple different factors going on. We've got an area of low pressure to our south and a pretty decent high pressure ridge just off of the coast. With that high pressure ridge, it is putting a big bump in the jet stream, but watch this area of low pressure once we head toward Friday. It's going to pull that jet stream down, and what that's going to do is it's going to suck down that colder air from Canada, and it's also going to pull some North Pacific moisture across the board. So Friday night, likely going to see some rain. That's going to quickly transition over to snow on Saturday, more widespread snow throughout the day on Saturday, and probably even some lingering flurries on Sunday. Staying pretty cool, though, even once Monday rolls around. We'll see that high pressure strengthen a little bit. So in anticipation of this, National Weather Service has put a winter storm watch into effect. That, I should say, will go into effect on Friday through Saturday due to some pretty decent snow across the region. Now, forecast models are trending higher than this. I've backed them off for the show. I think a lot of this snow is going to melt once it hits the ground. That's why I'm kind of backing things off. Now, this could change a lot. It's still a long ways out. We'll keep you posted. Right now, probably about 3 to 5, even with that snow melt throughout the region. Same story for Cut Bank, a little bit less. Kind of the brunt of it is going to be right along the Rocky Mountain front there into south central Montana. Over the next 7 days, here's what we're looking at. 46 degrees, kind of chilly today, but rebounding back up to the 60s tomorrow. Showers late on Good Friday, and snow just in time, unfortunately, for the Easter weekend. Might have to do the egg hunt inside this year. 54 as Wednesday rolls around here today, and then warmer on Thursday before things kind of take a tumble this weekend. Keely.
Thanks, Jason. The time now is 6:52, and new this morning, farmer sentiment plummets as coronavirus concerns rise and the white knuckle ride in the oil market continues. Jane King is in New York this morning with those stories and more.
Oil prices are tumbling again. There remains considerable uncertainty about whether Saudi Arabia and Russia will reach a truce on their oil price war and come to some kind of agreement on production cuts. Meanwhile, ExxonMobil says it will cut capital spending by 30% in response to the coronavirus. While the U.S. is slashing its forecasted oil output as demand tanks and investors hope for Thursday's OPEC Plus meeting to bring further easing, the world's most traded commodity faces unprecedented pressure as travel restrictions and stay-at-home orders have kept consumers from capitalizing on historically low prices. Well, work on the Keystone Pipeline continues despite the coronavirus. A spokesman for TC Energy says the work began over the weekend at the border crossing in northern Montana. It will eventually be built all the way down to Texas. Indigenous tribes, though, near the pipeline worry that they can catch COVID-19 from workers. Well, the Purdue University CMA Group Ag Economy Barometer recorded its largest one-month drop in sentiment during March. First and foremost, farmers are concerned about how the coronavirus will impact their farms this year. Survey takers say while originally they were worried about how it would impact trade with China, now they're wondering if the challenging financial picture will start during this year's planting season. From New York, I'm Jane King with your Ag and Energy Report.
And after starting yesterday's session higher, Wall Street wilted on renewed worries over the coronavirus pandemic. The Dow lost 26 on Tuesday. The Nasdaq fell 25. The S&P 500 shed 4.
Coming up, healthcare workers pleading for more personal protective equipment, why hospitals are forced to wait months for critical supplies. Plus, we talk to Chef David Chang about the survival of restaurants during this crisis. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning. We are 4 minutes away from the top of the hour. Let's get you out the door with the day's top stories now. Governor Steve Bullock announced a 2-week extension of the stay-at-home order Tuesday and other directives aimed at limiting the spread of COVID-19. Public schools, bars, casinos, and restaurants will remain closed unless they offer curbside or drive-through services. A 14-day self-quarantine will continue to be required for those arriving in Montana for non-work-related travel. We have the full report on our websites. And here's a look at the latest numbers from the COVID-19 website. Montana had 319 confirmed reported cases as of Tuesday night. 57 people have recovered so far. Nearly 7,000 have been tested. Cascade County holding steady at 11 cases. The website shows 15 cases for Toole County. However, a release from the county Tuesday said that there were 2 new positive cases last night, bringing the total to 17. 4 people in that county have recovered. The state has partnered with with local agencies to create an incident command unit in Toole County to address the needs of the area, including providing personnel and resources. And the Montana Department of Justice announced changes to the Motor Vehicles Division to help better serve the public during this pandemic. Anyone whose driver's license is set to expire can now renew it online. People who choose to renew online will receive a license valid for 2 more years with their current picture. MVD has also granted an extension to those whose driver's licenses recently expired. Dealerships and vehicle owners have also been granted a 90-day extension to file and register vehicles transferred to them. And north of Malta, construction work on the Keystone XL pipeline is underway across the U.S.-Canadian border, as Jane King just mentioned in our Ag and Energy report. TC Energy said construction work started over the weekend on the $1.4 million U.S.-Canadian border crossing. No further details were provided by the company. The company's residential permit is the subject of a hearing next week before U.S. District Judge Brian Morris in Great Falls. A coalition of environmental groups claim the Army Corps of Engineers ignored 2 major U.S. laws when it approved the project's permit last spring. And in more news around the state, the Montana Department of Labor and Industry says it issued more than 24,000 unemployment insurance payments just last week. The total paid out for the week amounted to nearly $7.9 million. Monday, March 30th, saw the highest number of payments with just over 17,000 in place. DELI says as of April 5th, it had identified 206 businesses with layoffs affected by COVID-19. And like many thrift stores, Good Samaritan Ministries in Helena is not collecting most donations right now, but they say people have been dumping lots of items on their doorstep, despite signs saying not to do it. The store is accepting furniture in good condition, but only by appointment. We have all the details on our websites. And all this week, we are drawing winners for our Spring Spruce Up contest. Today, you can win a $200 gift certificate from Strobel's Rental.
There you go. Get yourself an aerator or something
Yeah.
along those lines. To enter for your chance to win, go to krtv.com/springspruceup. We'll have new prizes every day.
Winners are announced every morning on our Facebook pages and contacted by our digital team.
Yeah, 'tis the season for rototilling.
I thought that was
You
like a
know.
snowmobile place, so I'm glad
No,
that we
no, it's a rental
clarified
place,
this.
Keely. No,
Oh,
I always
okay.
got to go hit the tiller or
Strobel
the
sounded snowy, I think.
aerator.
Yeah. Aerator.
Power rake.
Power
all
rake.
that fun
Whoa,
stuff. Yeah,
these are
'tis
weird
the season.
and powerful new terms.
Yep.
Empowering.
A little bit chilly today, warmer again through Friday, but then we're tracking a weekend weather maker. Currently a cold front passing through the region, so a couple little isolated flurries are going to continue throughout central Montana. Hour by hour forecast staying quite a bit cooler today, as you notice temperatures starting in the 20s and 30s and a few 40s and a little bit warmer into south central Montana as we head toward the weekend. With that said, though, tracking our next weather system, that's going to be moving in this weekend. Snow and cold on the way. Here's how it all reflects over the next 7 days. 46 today, mild tomorrow, but then again, Friday night into Saturday, that's when that weather maker is going to move in. Kick off as rain and then transition to snow pretty rapidly. So unfortunately, just in time for the Easter.
Right, like
Easter
you were
weekend.
saying that maybe an Easter egg hunt inside. is
Yeah,
probably
unless
the
you
best
really
way.
want to mess with the kids, you know, put undyed eggs out in the snow.
That's cruel. No, don't listen to him. Fake
That's a
news.
great idea.
That's all the time we have on Montana This Morning. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Have a good one, everyone.
Good morning and happy hump day. I'm Keelima Mittendorf. Here's a look at today's top stories. Governor Steve Bullock announcing another 2-week extension of the stay-at-home order Tuesday and other activities aimed at limiting the spread of COVID-19. Public schools, bars, casinos, and restaurants will remain closed unless they offer curbside or drive-through services. A 14-day self-quarantine will continue as well to be required for individuals arriving in Montana for non-work-related travel. We have the full report on our websites. And here's a look at the latest numbers from the COVID-19 website. As of Tuesday night, Montana had 319 confirmed reported cases. 57 people had recovered so far from coronavirus. Nearly 7,000 have been tested. Cascade County still holding steady at 11 cases. The state website is showing 15 cases for Toole County. However, a release from Toole County officials Tuesday said there were 2 new positive cases last night, bringing the total to 17. 4 people have recovered in Toole County. The state has partnered with local agencies to create an incident command unit to address the needs of the area, including providing personnel and resources. And the Montana Department of Justice announced changes to the Motor Vehicles Division to help better serve the public through this pandemic. Anyone whose driver's license is set to expire can renew it online. People who choose to renew online will receive a license valid for 2 more years with their current picture. MVD has also granted an extension to those whose driver's licenses recently expired. Dealerships and vehicle owners have also been granted a 90-day extension to file and register vehicles transferred to them. And in other news around the state, the Montana Department of Labor and Industries says it issued more than 24,000 unemployment insurance payments just last week. The total paid out for the week amounted to nearly $7.9 million. Monday, March 30th, saw the highest number of payments with just over 17,000. DLI says as of April 5th, it had identified 206 businesses with layoffs affected by COVID-19. And north of Malta, construction work on the Keystone XL pipeline is underway across the U.S.-Canadian border. TC Energy said construction work started over the weekend on the 1.4 million U.S.-Canadian border crossing. No further details were provided. The company's presidential permit is the subject of a hearing next week before U.S. District Judge Brian Morris here in Great Falls. A coalition of environmental groups claimed the Army Corps of Engineers ignored 2 major U.S. laws when it approved the project's permit last spring. Let's get a check of the forecast now when we say good morning to Storm Tracker forecaster Jason Laird.
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully your Wednesday's off to a great start. Kind of chilly today, but we'll rebound tomorrow. Reason behind that, cold front continuing to pass through the region this morning. Now, following that cold front, mostly sunny skies are expected, which is good news there. And wind, not very much of it today, thankfully, so that'll be a nice change compared to what we were dealing with yesterday. As for temperatures here, we are looking at about 46 degrees for your daytime high, 54 in the capital, a couple of 40s there throughout the eastern plains. Still kind of cold tonight, though, 25 in Great Falls, 31 in the capital, mid to low 20s as we head off into the plains. Forecast for tomorrow, very nice, back up to 60, which is going to put us just above seasonal averages, 63 in the capital with a couple of 50s there. Now, as we head toward the weekend, still tracking that weekend weather maker, jet stream's going to take a dive on us. That's going to pull in colder air and moisture. So rain Friday night, transitioning to pretty widespread snow throughout the day on Saturday. Over the next couple of days, here's how things are going to play out for us. 46 degrees today and 60 tomorrow. But again, those showers move in Friday night, sticking with us throughout the day on Saturday. Next 7 days in the capital, 54 degrees, 60s to follow, and cold and snowy this weekend.